Welcome back to another episode of Coffee Walk MD. I'm Dr. Brian Kendall.
And I'm Dr. Brittany Bankhead.
And this is your cure
for boring conversation.
Man, it seems like it's been a while since we have
it's been a minute.
Yeah, so much has happened since our last episode, I feel like.
I know.
But it was also very nice to I'll be honest, it was nice to kind of have a break.
To have a moment.
Yeah.
If you don't follow us on social media, we actually shared that the reason we didn't post last week a new episode was not because we're good people, not because we were doing something big with our lives, which actually you might take a break and say you're saving lives and helping your children and all those things. But the truth of it is that instead of filming a podcast, we watched Love is Blind.
Oh,
and that is just the truth of it. And we looked at each other and we were like, I just can't. I can't muster up the IDGAF energy. Yeah. No, it would be IDGAF energy.
It would be.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's really what happened.
Yeah, and when was the last time we kind of that wasn't even really binging. I think we watched 3 episodes. But when's the last time that you and I sat on a couch and watched that much TV in a single
We also both secretly judged each other a little bit when we were trying to decide what new show to watch. Yeah. And Love is Blind, we were on my Netflix thing, so it's obviously offering it to me. And I'm looking, I'm like, Love is Blind? He's like, I don't know. I mean, what do you think? And this is how it goes.
Yeah, well, but it's a great show because it sparks a lot of conversation.
Oh, man.
Just
don't worry,
like
we're
our
going to talk about
podcast sparks a lot of conversation, too.
Wow, you really got into it.
Well, yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay. What are we drinking?
Right. We getting into it today?
Yeah, what are we drinking?
All right. I am drinking out of the Sweet Eugene's mug.
Aww,
because
throwback.
I love you. Yeah, because I love you. It makes me think of you.
That's a stretch. You got to tell people why that.
Well, Sweet Eugene's is a really cool, it's the quintessential college coffee place.
Shout out Sweet Eugene's in College
Station, Texas, Texas A&M, that's where anybody, if you wanted a good place to just go study.
It's the standard.
It's the standard.
It's the gold standard.
Yeah. And we that's kind of it was a first kind of meetup thing in Sweet Eugene's.
That's a stretch.
It's not a stretch.
It's a stretch.
Yeah. So that's kind of where it's little tingly things
Butterflies?
Butterflies, yes. Yeah, thank you. That's where it started. That's where it started.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then, what are you drinking? And I'll tell them what coffee we're drinking.
My mug is the Sitka Alaska mug today.
Sitka.
Yeah, man, you can't not hear Sitka and think of the proposal and Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Sitka, Alaska. Yes, neutral vibes.
Neutral vibes. Love it.
Neutral vibes.
And we are drinking a new coffee today, Stumptown. Stumptown coffee.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Not above it.
It's pretty good though. It's got a smooth thing. This is the vanilla and cocoa powder vibes.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
My nose is just running.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not sick.
It's allergy season.
Don't start with me. I'm not sick, and I'm not nothing. I feel like a little puppy with a little wet nose. There's nothing. It's not like it's running. It's just wet.
I know. I'm prepared for these things though. See.
Well, thank
you.
Got a Kleenex. This doesn't match my vibes though. This box is
neutral. Tell Kleenex that. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. All right. So tell the people again. For the reason we do the coffee walk is to keep our conversations from getting boring. We have been married twice to each other. First time around. Didn't do this. Second time around, we have done these coffee walks, and it has been a staple of our marriage and our relationship to go on this and do these coffee walks and get the conversations going and flowing. And so we try to have some idea of what we're going to talk about, and that's what this podcast is about, is to share those ideas, share what we're talking about so you can take it into your own relationship.
And hopefully give you a little bit of a framework if you're unsure, but the real meat and potatoes of it all, that's very Southern of me. Mm-hmm. The real meat and potatoes of it all is that you just need to grab a coffee or a hot beverage of your choice and you just need to walk outside and start walking.
And the conversation will come.
Start walking and the conversation will flow.
Yeah.
We do have a framework of some things, if we're not entirely sure what to talk about, that we do. And so we try to share those with you, a little bit different ones every time. Mm-hmm. So today we're going to talk about current events, what's on your mind, behind the curtain, which is kind of the way in which we talk about what's going on in your life other than what we would normally know about, kind of thinking back to the days that you were dating and or first met, if you're friends, and you would tell each other, oh, this is what I do at my job, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
And you kind of lose that over time, and so that's what that's aimed to be at. And then we're going to do a book check today, apparently.
Yeah, we are. Book check.
Book check.
Yeah. Mainly because you don't really care all that much about what I'm reading.
So you want to tell the people?
Well, it's not that I want to tell the people. And I don't always care about what you're reading, but it's good to share that. It's good get the highlights.
That's true.
Yeah.
So the last time you told me about what you were reading, it was Frankenstein, and it was like a whole ride that I didn't want to be a part of.
Frankenstein is
and you
a
kept
nuts
going.
book.
You kept going. It was on a date night too, and I'm like, I'm really struggling to stay in the game.
Oh, but Frankenstein is it's a mind bender. It's like just anyways. Okay.
Yeah, you should really keep that to yourself.
Hey, I'm keeping it right here, keeping it real.
Okay.
All right. So what are we talking about first?
I just told you.
Current events.
Current events.
Yeah. So there's no getting around. If anybody knows me, I'm going to talk about the war in Iran.
Of course.
Yeah, and so we try to keep this very apolitical, right? There's nothing politics about this. The fact of the matter is that it's going on.
Well, there's nothing politics about what we're going to talk about
Correct.
today.
Yeah. Or at least that's my attempt.
It's not that the war has nothing to do with politics, because
Correct.
There's politics in everything.
No, that's exactly right.
We try to keep a platform that is pretty apolitical,
pretty neutral.
And just
because it's about conversation. It's not about judgment, right? So so it's been very. Have you kept up on the war at all?
I mean, some.
Yeah, because usually my role in our relationship is these.
Tell me about the geopolitical issues.
That's right, the geopolitical issues. So basically, it's this whole. We're still trying to figure out why exactly everybody started this second round of stuff against Iran, but it's what's happening so far is that it's really ratcheting up tensions in the entire area.
Middle East, yeah.
And it's the things that are happening, you remember very quickly that we are all connected in some way. Because right now, because Iran is right there on the Strait of Hormuz, which is a huge alleyway for all of the oil tankers to get their oil from the Persian states, from the... You
got to keep it...
I'm trying to...
Basic.
I'm keeping it basic.
Keep it basic.
Basically, it's the way that oil gets to all the rest of the country.
Okay.
And the mainly, a lot of that stuff goes to, East Asia, South Korea, and then also to Europe. And so their oil prices are going way high. I heard the other day, I think their gas prices have already risen 30% or something like that. Mm-hmm. Ours, I think, have come up a little bit, but... It's just you realize really quickly that we are all connected, and that even though this war is half a world away, it has real effects at home, and we're still going to be seeing it's just the beginning of those effects, unfortunately.
But more than we are all connected, I when you say that, I think about emotionally or mentally. You're talking about resources.
Yeah, resources.
Yeah. We depend on one
physically
another.
Physically connected.
We depend on one another.
We do depend on one another.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, I really liked the way that our preacher at church this past Sunday, I really liked the way that he came at it, because he prayed for the entire conflict. It was a very, to me, it was a very it was a very good mindset to keep of everybody is affected by this, and it's a tense situation no matter where you are in the world.
What I have appreciated as I've gotten older and gone through life is that first of all, sometimes watching shows has helped me understand these things a little bit better. especially when it comes to like the Madam Secretaries and these old things where you're like, oh, we really don't know everything that's going on in the background. And so whether I agree or disagree with what's going on in the White House and what's going on at this federal level and whatever, I also know as a parent and as a physician and all these things, there's a lot of crap going on in the background that you'll never know.
You'll never know. That's right.
And there's that. I mean, that's not a here nor there, but you just have to know you don't know everything. I also think the other part to that is that it is so interesting to me, especially on social media. Let's be honest. A lot of what I know about this conflict has to do with the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and especially the travel groups that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
And where there is some international presence with some women are like, I have family in Iran and this is the most blessed day that's ever come to our country. Yeah. This means this and this means this. And like, it's very interesting to see it from that point of view.
Yeah.
It's also interesting to see it from the traveler's standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about, I've wanted to go to Dubai for a very long time. And there are people who are literally stuck there.
Yeah.
Like
stuck.
Very stuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the interesting part of that.
Yes, very interesting. I feel that to me is like a nightmare scenario where you are.
Well, it's a reminder to register with the State Department.
That's
too,
exactly right.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, so that's my current event. What is your current event?
You look very distracted, by the way.
I'm not distracted. I'm thinking because, well, as you talked about the getting out, the thing I think that bothered me the most is that apparently it's obvious there was no exit plan to get people out.
Yeah.
Which, that just bothers me. Yeah. But anyways.
Agreed. Okay, my current events, Love is Blind.
Yes. I love this.
Love is Blind and all that has happened. There's going to be a few spoiler alerts. So if you're still watching it, well, we haven't finished it entirely.
We haven't finished it, yeah.
But okay, so there's your spoiler alert. So what I have loved about watching Love is Blind this season is how much more. I mean, because we watched Love is Blind a long time ago. It's been a long time.
We've missed several seasons.
I have been so impressed by the women. In this season.
Really? Yeah.
Like, so impressed. Yeah. They're not all perfect by any means. Yeah. And neither are the dudes. But just in general, I feel like either the genre of women that they chose or women as a whole have become so much more assertive and sure of themselves. And there's been several times in it that the women are like, yeah, no. Yeah. Even if you love me, you don't love me like I need you to love me. Yeah. And I'm choosing me over whatever this situation is. Yeah. I don't need your butterflies to make me feel whole. And that is a very admirable place to be at.
Yeah. You're exactly right. Now that you've said that, that is so true. Of the past show many years ago when we watched, it was more about there was a lot of women I think who were getting kind of taken advantage of. Yeah. And this season, it's they're strong. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're not putting up with it.
Yeah.
Which is great. And again, I don't know if it's just because of who they chose or because women in general evolved. I think women have evolved. I think as time is going on, we are trying to empower people in general, not just women, but everybody, that you are much better off as a whole individual than you are as part of a crappy pair.
But I mean, what's interesting about that though is, have you noticed that there is more and more this on the opposite end of that, there is a very big wave of masculinity. Have you heard this, seen this, or whatever? What well, I was going to talk a little bit about it with my Rome book, but I was reading this the other day, and one of my colleagues at work, and he was like, "Oh, you're reading about Rome? That's what all the dudes are reading right now." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, and they're apparently it's this there's this hyper masculinity culture wave going on right now, where people are like going kind of that exact opposite direction of that, which I've read some about, and like there's this. It's very interesting. It's interesting that is happening too with I don't know what I'm saying, but it's a very it's just a very like interesting like dichotomy. You like that word? Dichotomous. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to talk about in book check since we're at book check?
Oh yeah. So I'm reading a book about Rome.
Okay.
Yes, mainly because we are going to Rome, and I wanted to educate myself on what we were going to be seeing there, because I don't like going to a place and then feeling like there's so much history around me and I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So the book I'm reading is called SPQR, which stands for, it's like Latin, Senate and People of Rome. Oh. And it's all about kind of how Rome got its start and why this little tiny village became this massive empire. And so right now the book is just about like the very, very beginnings of Rome, like 600, 700 BC. And it's really cool. I mean, what I've taken from it so far is that our issues today are no different than what they were thousands of years ago, that we have all of the same issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say what I'm reading currently because it is a to be disclosed kind of something I'm working on in the background. But what I finished reading recently was Let Them by Mel Robbins. Mm-hmm. Very, very widely popular book, which I think you have to be very careful about the population you are pushing this book to, because I'm in a good place to receive this book, like a lot of other people, but I also think there is a certain genre of people who shouldn't have that book in their hands until they've done enough work on themselves, which I saw a conversation about at one point. So I do think that's true, but it was a very good, easy life advice book, very easy implementation, and has really let me apply this theory kind of widely across a lot of genres.
It's been somewhat revolutionary in our parenting. That's where I've seen it the most. Yeah. Like I've seen it really spur your thoughts on how we parent our children with this book is very interesting premise. So, yeah, it's been really cool to have you kind of bring me up to speed on what you've read.
Okay, in the interest of time, we talked a lot about the war, so we've got to move on.
We got to move on.
Okay, what is on your mind?
So, on my mind is that, like, as a kid, I used to feel like education is boring. And the older I get, the more and more I realize education is actually really powerful. Mm-hmm. And I think back to, like, when we were kids, remember, like, Captain Planet, right? Do you never watch Captain Planet?
Never.
Okay, I know, like, a lot of people, like, in my generation, like, Captain Planet was on TV, and it was all about, like, it was this entire cartoon about, like, saving the world, all this kind of stuff. And you're watching it, and as a kid, you are thinking, like, oh, it's just a cartoon, I'm just watching this for fun or whatever else. But now, even as an adult, every time I, like, forget to put something in the recycle bin, I think about Captain Planet and about, like, oh, I should have, like, reused, reduced, recycled that. And it's like those moments even in something as simple as a cartoon carry out through many, many, many years. And I really notice that right now in our own kids and what they watch and what they consume, and like seeing that, like, there are things out there that they are getting, they're getting information, and that information coming to them is like unfiltered. Mm-hmm. And as a kid, you just believe it because it's like, oh, there's an adult or whoever talking on this very popular thing, and what they're saying must be legit. Like, nobody would let them say this if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I've become hyper aware of that of like trying to bring some balance. And then you did a really good job yesterday of like checking me on that a little bit, because I do tend to go overboard with my responses when when our kids come to me and like, hey, I heard this today. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Like, that's not the full story. And then I try to go into the full thing.
You go on a monologue.
I do. I monologue a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful.
I do have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's been on my mind is I'm like nearing 40. I'm pushing 40. Birthday's coming up soon, and I'm definitely feeling the feels about this middle part of my life. Mm-hmm. And feeling some career feelings. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say career shift, maybe evolution is a good word, but and I've got a few irons in the fire, and I'm also part of this thing at work where we're exploring our kind of identification of who we are and where we are in our career. And when I'm having a hard time, and if you can identify, please let us know in the comments, because it'll make me feel less alone. What I'm struggling with, what I'm not understanding, is the difference between I don't like to do that at work, so this means this is not a good job for me, versus I don't like to do that work. Tough. We all have to do some things we don't like within our job. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to tell the difference between the two. When is you being drained? And I'm not talking like, oh, I don't like doing that. I'm talking about being drained. When is being like emotionally drained by something associated with your job, or associated with your company, or associated with your institution? When is being drained a red flag for you need to pivot out of that thing? And when is it just, yeah, sometimes life is draining and you just got to find other ways to fill your cup and move on. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So I'm really excited to start some career coaching that's associated with this program, and kind of explore that further, because I'm having a really tough time discerning the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Honestly. Okay. Behind the curtain. This was interesting.
Yeah. I had a question for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wrote it the way that I wanted to say it. So
which I've not prepared for. By
I know
the way.
You're not. I know. So we were talking the other day, like so many people, like, you can go to their job, you can watch what they do. The kids and I have never, ever, ever, ever seen you do your job in the operating room. Mm-hmm. I have never seen you operate. So, like, what is it like when you are getting ready to go into the OR? Like, what is your routine? Do you have any rituals that you do? Are you like in the operating room? Like, what's your vibe? What are you doing?
So, if you're new here, I'm a trauma and acute care surgeon and an ICU doctor. So that means that the breadth of what I do is huge. So I'm going to answer and say that it is very dependent. A lot of things are very dependent on the case and the situation and how emergent it is. Mm-hmm. For the kind of straightforward, if you will, things like taking out an appendix, taking out a gallbladder, that kind of thing, and the emergent stuff, my first ritual is that my mask, I have a very specific way that I put it on so that it leaves as few marks on my nose as possible. And so it doesn't, I don't get steamy eyes. Mm-hmm. I leave the bottom open more. I push down the top. I have one type of mask that I like, and I will go searching for it until I find it. I make sure that my ears are within my cap a certain way. Otherwise they hurt after they've been in my scrub cap for a while. Mm-hmm. And then when I go inside, I always put my phone and my jacket or my pullover and my lanyard all together, either on the side by the computer or on the floor. I clip my pager to my watch and to my lanyard. And then I tell the nurse, hey, I'm on call. Can you please answer any pages? Mm-hmm. And then I set those all down to where she can easily hear them, because the pager, if it gets missed, that's a bad thing. And then a lot of times it depends on what the residents are doing. If I have a fellow or a chief who's going to be operating and I'm just watching, then I am just there and supervising and teaching and trying to let them have some autonomy as they're about to go into practice. But I'm always there and ready to scrub in, obviously, at any moment. So in emergent situations, it's a lot, that initial getting there is a lot of discussion with anesthesia. I'm kind of getting into nuances. I don't mean to do that. Specifically about scrubbing in, I don't like the formal wash. I like avant-garde once I'm ready to avant-garde. And I like good music on if we've got music as an option. I make sure that the bookie is not on my side.
The what now?
The bookwalter.
What's the bookwalter?
So that's the retractor system that you hook up to the bed itself. It's like this strong metal pole that you turn and twist to go onto the patient's bed, and then it's got this retractor system that spreads out, and it's got this big ring that then you hook stuff up and you pull everything back so you can see what you're doing. But oh man, it cuts into your side and it hurts, and you have to maneuver around it when it's on your side. So I always I tell them that's my attending privilege of the day. I dealt with enough retractors in my lifetime pushing against me. You get to do it now.
Which side of the bed do you stand on? Are you on the right or the left?
It depends. Yeah. Again, this is trauma. So, in an emergent thing, things are going to happen all over the place. Usually the resident, because we're taking them through it, the resident usually stands on the right side of the bed because that's usually the easiest way to cut the patient open. And so I usually stand on the other side. If they're kind of newer, I'm like, all right, which side of the bed do you want to stand on? And that kind of gives them the motivation to say, oh, I'm going to go stand on the right side of the bed.
Yeah.
I try to help the medical student or the intern be in front of me too. So I'll stand second in line or third in line. And then obviously when things need to move along, we switch, and I'll be there. In a trauma case, I am very big on making sure we've got lots of laps, suction hooked up, and lots of buckets, for the blood that I know is going to happen. That is a case where I let the resident have a little bit of time, and then you need to move, and then we need to move along and get things. But I'm very big on teaching the residents autonomy, and on helping them. I like some things set up a certain way, but if they have a way they want to do it, I like to give them that opportunity within those cases to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool.
Any other questions?
No, that answers it. No, I just wanted to you put me in there, so I just wanted to. It helped me see, kind of visualize what's going on. Because I've been in ORs before. In medical school and all that. I've never been in an OR with you. Yeah. So.
My biggest thing is I remember as a resident and a student, I felt like every surgeon, again, the word dichotomous, every surgeon was either really nice on the floor and then a jerk in the OR, or they were kind of a jerk on the floor and super nice and Addies in the OR. It was you were either one or the other.
Yeah.
I think that's moved forward, but again, I don't operate with other surgeons very much, so I don't know. But I just have always wanted, if I'm in the operating room, I want it to be a place of, it's already high stress enough. We don't need for my attitude or my rudeness to add to that. And so I try to have an environment of collegiality and appreciation and openness and good communication and kindness. Did I say that? I just think that is such a better environment to work in than the rudeness. I also, as a trauma and acute care surgeon too, they will often ask about preferences for this or whatever, because a lot of surgeons will just flip the roof if they don't have what they need. And I feel like it's kind of our jobs to be like, whatever you got is what we, and I think that's a really important lesson for the residents to learn too. I have been in like the United States in like big level 1 trauma centers where we run out of the ligature at night, or you don't have the right Satinsky, or you don't have whatever, the right central line, and like you have to figure it out. Like it will happen. And so I think, you know, yes, I want that there's a certain standard that you have to do a safe operation. But above that, it's preferences. And sometimes you need to be able to work within the confines of what you've got, and that will make you a better surgeon, and not I'm going to flip out if I don't have the exact whatever.
Yeah. That'll not just make you a better surgeon, that just makes you better at life. Like, I feel like that's what we try to teach our kids.
It does, but I'm not going to lie. Yes, a lot of things cross over, but like there's a totally different thing when you've got a patient on the table.
Oh, yeah.
And you're trying to do a thing that's already high stress, and you don't have the things that you're used to. It's just another level of like, oh my gosh. I mean, to me, it'd be like getting in a car on a really steep road and not having the brakes that you're used to all of a sudden. And all of a sudden now you don't have a brake and you're like it's life or death.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're used to having a few other kinds of brakes, you've tried other brakes before on the flatter road, you're going to be okay because you're going to know how to navigate that. But if you've only ever known one kind of brake, it's going to freak you out.
True. Yeah.
That you're in a life or death situation and this is your first time. So I think it's important that they learn that set of skills. Anyway, that was a lot. I'm sorry.
It's all good. No, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that concludes this episode of Coffee Walk MD. It's always a ride.
It was a wild ride.
It was a wild ride. But we hope that you enjoyed this. We hope that you can take this with you on your coffee walk coming up. Please make sure that you subscribe here so that you don't miss an episode. Follow us on social media. Anything else to tell the people?
Today was kind of a heavy episode.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't as light as it can be sometimes, but I think that's also true of life and true of what we're trying to show within this podcast is sometimes there's days for lighthearted and giggling and laughing, and sometimes it's deep and it's hard to follow what Brian's saying about geopolitical awareness, and I'm getting into the depths of why the operating room is this, and that's life.
That's life.
Yeah.
It is. Well, this has been another episode of Coffee Walk MD, your cure
for boring conversation.